Chapter 4 Sons of Chaos Seekers. I'll turn the digital world upside down to find what I'm after. All eyes were on the gateway in the center of the wall slum. The SOC's media blitz on Grimm worked. Every codecracker in the world and every Digimon living in the wall slum was on their side. The codecrackers thought it was some sort of festival. The Digimon were driven either by homesickness or fury at a system that expelled them from their homeland. A revolutionary fervor was in the air, one that would not soon be extinguished. The horde of gatekeepers, consummate rule followers, closed ranks around the gateway such that none of the Digimon tainted by real-world data could enter. The system's orders were clear. Keep out. Alas, it felt too late. The network was about to take a bold step thanks to the collision of the real and digital worlds and the bonds between humans and Digimon. As the fighting raged on, a lone Digimon crested the rim of the caldera. It perched there, visible from just about anywhere in the wall slum. Dorugoramon, Mega, Beast Dragon, Data. Though technically a beast dragon by classification, it was better described as a humanoid dragon with wings flanking a symmetrical silver body. At the end of its articulated metallic whip-like tail was a fearsome blade with a shape reminiscent of an arrowhead. The wings were like those of the dragons of Western fantasy novels, if all the skin and membrane between the bones had been stripped away, and the bones weren't bones, but blades. Dorugoramon itself was reportedly born of a Digicore's daydream. Dorumon, its base form, contains the code for a legendary dragon within its Digicore. Accounts of the dragon's appearance are numerous. Nearly all paint a picture of the beast as an all-powerful enemy, a mega-level destructive force without equal. Kosuke Kisakata, aka Tartarus, was now one with this fearsome beast. It's beating hard. He looked out over the battlefield, observing the hordes of bot-driven Digimon that the codecrackers had unleashed upon the gateway as a result of his incitement. He saw the denizens of the wall slum in full revolt. The gatekeeper horde desperate to keep them from entering the depths. This mass of traffic, everyone riding the wave of this festival, as he had called it, they were all here doing the bidding of Kosuke and his partner Digimon. The stage was set. The actors had taken their places. The show was ready to begin. Whatever happened now, two things were true. One, it was completely out of Kosuke's and company's hands. Two, there was no stopping it. Golden armor! A torrent of golden light shot down from the networked seas above. Since time immemorial, legend spoke of a dragon god who ruled over the seas. One known to swell rivers until they broke their banks, or swallow structures with muddy currents. That very god now shot down from above, a whoosh of air culminating in the icy clanging of blades. The light gradually faded, twisting and peeling away until it resembled a whirlpool forming on the water's surface. Oriumon, Mega, Beast Dragon, Vaccine. The creature that tore through the sky was none other than the mega-leveled form of Ryudamon, partner Digimon to Shu Yulin of the Digipolice. This dragon, too, was born of a Digicore's daydreams, in this instance modeled on the Digicore's data on various Japanese myths revolving around fierce dragons and military commanders. The resulting warrior dragon wore regal Japanese armor and wielded twin blades in its talons. Not so much as a hello, Yulin, Kurska asked, his voice flat and calm. Yulin let out a gasp as Dorugoramon deftly parried Oriusmon's flurry of sword strikes. Oriumon took a moment to regroup. In its left talons it held Gairyu Sadajin. In its right talons, Gairyu Udaijin. From the wings on its back extended a pair of blades known collectively as Gaiba Daimajin. The golden armor attack engaged all four in an attempt to target the enemy's weak points with strikes strong enough to cleave into the earth. It was enough to make ordinary foes look as though they'd been tossed into a food processor and chopped to bits. We struck with the golden armor, and he's still standing. You didn't pull any punches, did you, Oriumon? Yulin asked curtly. Digimon gain focus as they digivolve, often causing them to grow ever more specialized in a way that makes them feel detached and aloof to most humans. This was especially true for Oriumon, the dragon god of the waters, who held the power of raging river within them. There was no room for a process that considered the feelings of mere mortals, friend or foe. Digipolice Investigation Unit 11 Deputy Squad Leader Shu Yulin. Or shall I refer to you as the Crossroads Witch? Tartarus taunted. The legendary Tartarus would know better than to call a woman by a name she shed long ago. Yulin shot back. They kept one another's digicourse in check. A split second of lowered defense or one wrong guess could cost either of them their lives. Didn't expect a sneak attack from a mega-level Digimon, I have to say. Tartarus continued. Well, you digivolved first. And now I have the honor of meeting Oriumon. How lucky. Likewise. Dorugoramon? Professor Ryosenji's hardest working students were reunited at last. To call them one-time acquaintances or childhood friends would be a gross understatement. They once entrusted a portion of their lives to one another, investing their futures in and devoting them to their beloved professor in order to bring a monumental project to life. They were of the same mind, albeit not actually mind-linked. Until they weren't. That connection vanished in an instant, along with Saya Ryosenji. Here we are, both in mega-level Digimon. Seems the answers we've sought all our lives, to all the theories we've debated over the years, lie on the other side of this fight. Kosuke said, honoring their lost connection. Mega-level Digimon were often seen as drawn swords, a sign that the time for talk had ended. And where do you think all this nonsense is going to get you, exactly? Nonsense? Oh, what we're witnessing is the greatest revolution in human history. Isn't that right, Dorugoramon? The digital world is filled with freaks and weirdos. That point I'll concede. Dorugoramon clasped its talons together before its body and focused its energy in preparation to launch a devastating attack. Dorudin! A shockwave burst out from Dorugoramon's body. Pure destructive energy ripped through the air. Oriumon blocked the blast with its twin blades, which rang out as each successive push from the shockwave pushed them into one another. Clang. 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 Oriumon soon deflected the blast and stepped around it. The shockwave, unabated, tore through the air behind Oriumon, sending a wide swath of codecracker Digimon and gatekeepers flying as it went. The blast slammed into the gateway, kicking up a cloud of dust. The ground shook as a massive hole opened in the caldera wall above the gateway, and the whole wall began to crumble. Deputy Squad Leader Satsuki Tamahime watched from below as Oriomon and Dorugoramon fought, marveling at the way they could so easily change the terrain. "Squad Leader!" she shouted involuntarily. From that one strike alone, she could tell Dorugoramon was capable of destruction beyond comprehension. Yulin, for her part, knew she could count on one hand the number of hackers and codecrackers in the world who managed to last even 5 minutes with Tartarus at the height of his power and live to tell the tale, and set her containment plan in motion. An entire squadron of Cargodramon carrying additional Digipolice officers descended upon the caldera, dropping hellborn units who formed up along its interior wall. The various platoons of the Commandramon squad were led by a Mechanorimon helmed by Satsuki and her partner Numemon, who were crammed into the seat together. Numemon slid its bobbling eyeball feelers through a small gap in the Mechanorimon to get a better look at the situation from the outside. "All squads, get in position. All SOC members are our targets. Don't worry about anyone else," Satsuki ordered. The message was clear. Prevent the SOC from cracking the gateway. Tartarus had all but made the game plan for them when he announced in his video that the SOC would do everything it could to try and breach the gateway. Whether or not that was actually possible was immaterial on the moment. They didn't need a reason anymore. All that mattered was stopping the Chaos agents they called codecrackers. "Enemy sighted. 9 o'clock. A Cargodramon barked over the comms channel. Satsuki turned to assess the threat. It was a lone squadron of gatekeepers separated from the horde by Dorugoramon's blast, now flitting about in Digipolice airspace. Satsuki clicked her tongue in disapproval and spun the Mechanorimon around to target a single gatekeeper with its linear lens. She fired a twinkle beam, vaporizing the gatekeeper in mid-air. In nearly the same instant, Satsuki issued the command to all units to open fire. The Cargodramon readied their Gatling guns. The Commandramon, the main force in this operation by dint of their numbers, readied their assault rifles. The resulting fire was deafening. The smell of gunpowder filled Satsuki's nostrils as the remaining units in the stranded gatekeeper horde were annihilated. "I see the gatekeepers think we're the enemy, too. Oh, great," Satsuki huffed. Didn't they know the Digipolice was trying to protect the gateway? Alas, there was no way to communicate with the gatekeepers and reinforce the notion that the Digipolice were actually on the same side. Now they'd have to contend with gatekeepers who saw any and all Digimon who had been tainted by real-world data as their enemy. "I'll be able to help out if I can just get them to ultimate level." Satsuki had pled her case to be put on the front lines for this sortie, only for Yulin to issue a calm and cold order. "Get in the Mechanorimon. You'll serve as a company commander." Yulin was, in so many words, warning Satsuki not to exceed her mind-link limits again. This time, there'd be no way to bring her back from the brink, and the Force couldn't afford to lose her. "Squad leader!" "So long as Tartarus is the target, I have to be the one to do this." Yulin was now locked into that very fight, and Satsuki was the only mind-linker she could entrust to control the tempo on the battlefield. If Satsuki exceeded her mind-link limit, the entire mission might well be lost. She wouldn't be able to reconnect right away either. The Digipolice had formal protocols, and crossing the C or L lines meant disciplinary actions and the entry of a written apology into the officer's record. "Satsuki, I need you out there issuing commands on the battlefield," Yulin told her. Her compatibility with Numemon meant she could remain mind-linked longer than anyone on the Force. That gave her the best chance of foiling the SOC's plans. Seals 1, reporting in, a voice said, interrupting Satsuki's train of thought. A Sealsramon squad had once again infiltrated the wall slum. This is Satsuki. Do you have eyes on the target? Search is underway, Sealsramon replied, scanning the area for leaders of the SOC. Keep looking. Tartarus' big splash here might be a diversion. The others could still be lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike. Copy that. Over. The next instant, something landed with a thud on Mekanorimon's domed head, causing Satsuki to let out a startled yelp. Someone had joined the fray from the cliffs behind her, and the rest of the squad using Mekanorimon's head as a stepping stone. A Digimon and human landed right in front of the company commander. The hell are you doing, AG? Sorry, I slipped. Hang on. Satsuki took a brief, bewildered moment to process the sight of the wolf-like Digimon and their human partner before her eyes, and found herself filled with an all-consuming rage. Eiji Nagasumi and his mangy mutt. Wait, how do you know my name? And who are you calling mangy mutt? Lugamon snarled, baring their teeth. Hang on. I recognize that nickname. And that voice. Shoot! This is the Digipolice unit! Lugamon said, looking at the giant police written on Mekanorimon and the body armor of the various Commandramon. Unbeknownst to Satsuki, Eiji and Lugamon had just stepped off the subway and found their way up the mountain to the caldera. At last your time has come, Satsuki shrieked with delight. Satsuki! I knew it was you! Eiji shouted back. Ah, the woman we chased out of the 9th district? Where's her gross slug friend? Lugamon said as they both looked high and low for the Numemon who was right above them, crammed into the Mekanorimon's domed head. I'll show you who's gross, Eiji Nagasumi! You little punk! Using my Mekanorimon's head as a stepping stone so you can go everywhere wherever you please. Oh, wow! You're inside that Mekanorimon, huh? Eiji said, finally taking notice of the Numemon's eyeballs poking out of the Mekanorimon's dome. So, the slugs finally found a shell, Lugamon taunted. Careful, you'll take her off again, Lugamon, Eiji said, egging his partner on. Silence. Eiji faltered. This wasn't the routine. She was supposed to say something back. I'm the commander! I am the commander on this battlefield! Satsuki said, calming and convincing herself as much as anyone else. What's up, Satsuki? You're not as spiky as before. Shut up, you criminal! You filthy codecracker! Gyro break! Mekanorimon's arm began to spin rapidly as it heaved forward, launching a corkscrew punch that flew through the air with a terrifying mechanical whir and drilled into the earth. Lugamon deftly hopped aside. Ah! Eiji groaned as a hunk of rock smashed him in the chin. This is a war zone, you little creep! Don't think you can get away with that kind of talk here? Satsuki yelled as Mekanorimon locked onto Eiji and shared the targeting data with every Commandramon unit in the area. Every single rifle in the squadron was trained on Eiji. Hololized humans in the digital world were data, just like everything else here. If the Commandramon all opened fire, he'd die. He let out a small whimper. Eiji, cut your hololization! Lugamon yelled at thin air, for Eiji was one step ahead, safely back in his partner's Digicore. You mean business today? What am I wanted for now? At least he'd be safe in the major damage inside Lugamon's Digicore. He just had to make sure Lugamon didn't take too many hits or get killed themselves. He was out of immediate danger, but far from out of the woods, as it were. Wanted? This isn't some ordinary petrol manhunt. I've been deployed for battle. The SOC will face the full force of the Digipolice and brought to justice for their violation of the Digitally Subversive Activities Prevention Act. What? AG yelled. We're taking you out, whether you like it or not. Fire! Muzzle flash lit up the area as the Commandramon unleashed a hail of bullets from their M16 assassin rifles. Lugamon, sensing they were about to open fire, dove behind a nearby boulder. Lugamon, you okay? She's at her wits' end this time. She's got a squad of 100 or more Commandramon at her disposal. This was a massive upgrade from their last encounter in the 9th District, where she'd had a dozen or so units at best. She said she's a company commander now. I guess she moved over to commanding digital warfare units? Whatever the case, AG had to reassess how he dealt with her. This wasn't a game anymore. It never was, now that he thought about it. She was a deputy squad leader in the Digipolice, for crying out loud. If it were just the Numemon, we'd just have to worry about smelling like crap, Lugamon snarked. That again. Whoa! A deafening roar accompanied a ferocious blast of air that threatened to pin Lugamon to the ground. They've got the squadron of Kaguraman with them too! The massive Digimon encircled Lugamon from above, trying to pin the wolf down with their tail rotors as their Gatling guns took aim and prepared to turn Lugamon into a pile of ash. Alternatively, they could jump out from cover and get obliterated by the Commandramon firing squad. Neither option was appealing. Satsuki opened a virtual monitor within the Mechanorimon and ascertained Lugamon's position via a feed from the Kagudramon. She ordered the Commandramon on the front lines to ready their DCD bombs. She'd have them lob a few over the boulder to smoke Lugamon out. A comms channel opened. This is Seals 1. Target acquired. Send me the coordinates. I would, but... Sealsramon hesitated. But what? They're nearly on top of you. An explosion lit up the sky above as the Kagudramon took a direct hit from the side. Smoke filled the air as the one of the Digimon's tail's rotors was cleaved from its body. The remaining Kagudramon scattered to the wind in retreat. Starting without me, AG? Marvin said over the SOC leader's chat, his Airdramon appearing as the smoke cleared.